Welcome back to the Passionfruit Podcast. I am Isaiah, your host, and today I have Byron with me.
Hi guys,
How
it's
you
an honor
doing?
to be here.
How you doing, Byron? How you doing?
I great. Once I hear I good on the Passion Fruit podcast, so it's a pleasure, it's an honor. I tell them that about 5 million times, so I mean it now. I'm just real excited for the topic we had to talk about today as well.
I'm glad to have you on the show, man. I'm glad to have you on the show. So how has quarantine been treating you, man?
Quarantine, it was going good in the beginning, no. It was going good in the beginning, but as time progressed and certain things that come across, little difficulties that I had to get across. So I wouldn't lie and say it easy or it was good, but it's definitely been a learning process for me. So up and down, good and bad. Yeah.
What have you learned in this quarantine time? Personally, I have learned to cook. I was never a good cook, yeah, but I learned to cook.
What you learned to cook?
I learned how to make pizza, corn pie, yeah, a lot of stuff I actually tried.
What I learned, boy? I learned. Yeah, I'm looking bad. Like I can't learn nothing. I think I learned a lot of self-development. So I'd say that for sure. I learned a lot of mental things, how to get through certain mental difficulties. I think I would say I learned a lot of that. So yeah.
I could agree with that too, because it really was hard, being home all the time, and having to you can't really do anything, so you had to kind of be by yourself basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was hard, I understand that, but like I said, being home actually and kind of being bored make you want to learn to do something.
Yeah,
and I ended up learning how to cook because I had to learn how to cook.
Exactly.
And then 2 years so.
Especially with when they lock down all the food places. Well, how you eat? You had to learn to cook something, and it had to taste good too. You can't be burning up thing and because it don't going to taste good.
For real, and I think too, since the place to open back and stuff, I still haven't really bought anything else. I still cook it for myself.
Yeah, you learn that skill.
Yeah, I'm really surprised myself. So no get a style legit.
Exactly. Yeah, I learned to cook a little bit too, but not much. I learned to cook a little, boy. A little pilau, macaroni pie. I never cooked that before. I learned to make it.
And I still don't know how to cook that, but yeah.
I still learning how to do a little roti and thing. They say that a little difficult. I burn up some food the other day, but we gonna talk about that.
Alright, bro. Well, alright. Now that we had this little conversation, catching up on all times. For you who didn't know, we are old mates. We know each other since we were small.
Primary school.
Primary school, basically. So I can't really count how much years that is. It's just a lot of years.
Plenty years. More than 10.
Alright, so thank you for being on the show, Byron.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Alright, so let's get into today's topic. Being a man in today's society. Society expects a lot from us men in terms of what we could bring forward or what we could provide into a situation. Like, for example, especially in households, men tend to be, the sole providers or the breadwinners, basically. That's how it's seen. But well, yeah, again, modern society, women could be breadwinners as well. I'm not saying that they can't, but it's just, the traditional thing for men to be that. But also, society expects men to be strong all the time and be the one that's always basically stoic.
Yeah, providing and all that stuff,
Yeah, they expect men to not be able to express themselves, but always to be, the big and strong and not show emotions.
Exactly.
And that has taken a toll on men in this time, seriously.
Especially in this time. With COVID and everything.
And also social media, all these things
big thing,
affect men on a whole mentally, and that's what we're talking about today. Like, okay, let me add this point here. What they say, high women and children have value, but a man has to create his own.
Yeah, I hear that one. Yeah, right. And it has some truth to it too. Like, you had to take everything with a grain of salt, and you had to really not just look at it face value too.
Face value,
right?
Yeah,
you had to look at something and say, well, it has some truth to it. It mightn't be 100% true, but there is some truth to that statement. So
yeah, but again, with that situation now, with that whole thing, men seeing that women and children value, their feelings are valued more so than a man's feeling. And seeing that we now come out of the children phase and now into the man phase, so we are now seeing that's how society treats men's emotions and men's feelings.
Yeah, but slowly and surely, I see that narrative kind of changing now. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, oh, it's going to be like that, or it's all doom and gloom. Slowly things are changing, which is good. Things are progressing, especially concerning men and showing their emotions. So there's progress. Hopefully we continue and keep up that progress, because it's up to us. We are the future. So we just had to keep maintaining that, especially for our children to continue doing that. So
yeah, we need to change. We need to change that whole mental thinking in our society where men shouldn't, feel a certain way or be able to show emotions. And because we're in a so progressive time and times are changing, it is a healthy thing, but it still has a lot of drawbacks, a lot of things we still need to fix, conversations that has to be that needs to be had.
Because it will take time, it's not something easy
overnight
thing. It will take a good amount of time, some couple years and couple generations too. So that is the hard part. But as long as we continue doing the right thing and continue teaching and passing on the right thing, things will change and progress will be made in concern with men showing emotions and being able to do things that were not considered manly.
So, basically, you're right. And in that sense, with dealing with men's emotions, I think we need to have more, especially in Trinidad. I don't see, they have specific things dealing with that, because
true.
Really and truly, not just in Trinidad alone, worldwide, men's health is less taken seriously, and of course that actually leads to a lot of high suicide rates in men compared to women. And although women are more diagnosed with mental issues than men. So I have an article actually, explaining that, and I'm gonna show it to you guys. So bear with me for a second.
It's a nice article. Here's the research. So
all right, so basically, why more men than women die by suicide? This is by Helen Schumacher. I don't know if I mispronounced your name.
we try our best.
All right, so in countries around the world, women are more likely to be diagnosed with depression and to attempt suicide. So why is the male suicide rate still several times higher than female? And I think she goes on to say, 6 years ago, her brother took his own life. He was 28 years old. That's a sad thing, when you lose somebody to suicide.
Somebody that close to.
And your brother, and probably know that, he couldn't communicate.
That's the number one thing, that's the main issue. See that communication? They're not expected to communicate because in something like this, it's a lot of emotions. So they could communicate, yes, but when emotions come into place, they're not, they don't want to share that. So I feel that is what.
And that's society's fault and how we grew up as children, male children being told you should not cry, you shouldn't feel weak or anything like that.
Exactly.
That's again. So tragically, suicide is not as rare as one might think. In 2016, the last year global data is available from the World Health Organization, WHO. There were an estimated 793,000 suicide deaths worldwide. Most were men.
So you could see that for yourself.
In the UK, the male suicide rate, well, I'm using this article because I couldn't really find any local articles, because again, Trinidad needs to up its game
with things like this. Because they want to be accurate. You don't want to pull up something and it's not accurate and it's local. So
and actually there was a video a while back where a guy jumped off a bridge
in Trinidad.
In Trinidad.
For real?
I think it was the bridge. What bridge that was, boy? It was some central bridge or something like that.
Well, look, I didn't. I'm not hearing about that. I don't know about that. So that is proof right there.
Well, guys, if you all know what I'm talking about, I'm sure you could find it. If you all could send me the video, well, not video, but the article about it, because I don't really want to see anybody jumping off a bridge. That's a scary thing.
Well, if you find it, it will be in the description.
I don't know if I'll find it, but I'll find it.
If you find it.
If I find it, So I will leave that article as well in the description. Also, I will leave this article because I will be reading the entirety of the whole thing. I'll just be pointing out some of the facts. Okay, so in the UK, the male suicide rate is its lowest since 1981. 15.5 deaths per 100,000. but suicide is still the single biggest killer of men under the age of 45.
So as I say, slowly things are progressing, but it needs to continue. We can't go back. We can't take steps back because you see in here, it has decreased, but it's still a lot. It's still a lot, and it's still a big problem. Yeah.
All right. And a marked gender split remains. For UK women, the rate is a third of men's 4.9 suicides per 100,000, meaning literally 3 men die to 1 woman die. So basically, that's what that means. It's the same in many other countries compared to women. Men are 3 times more likely to die by suicide in Australia, 3.5 times more likely in the US, and more than 4 times more likely in Russia and Argentina. World Health Organization's data show that nearly 40% of countries have more than 15 suicide deaths per 100,000 men. Only 1.5% show a rate that high for women. So basically, in most countries, men commit suicide more than basically 3 to 1 compared to women, between 3 to 4 times more than women.
Exactly.
The trend goes back a long way. As long as we've been recording it, we've seen this disparity, says psychologist Jill Harkavy-Friedman, vice president of research for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, a health organization that supports those affected by suicide. Suicide is a hugely sensitive, complex issue with a tangled multitude of cases, and the very nature of a death by suicide means we can never fully know the reasons behind it. Still, as mental health awareness has grown, there is greater public understanding about potential contributing factors. One of the questions that has persisted, though, regards this gender gap. It seems especially large given that women tend to have higher rates of depression diagnosis. So yeah, basically, women actually are more diagnosed than men. They get they tend to get the help they need
because they're going out and get it. So
because society accepts our woman's feeling. I'm not saying that is bad. Well, yeah, society is bad, but society tends to accept women's feelings or allow them to express their feelings.
They expect that
from women.
In society they would say, you're a woman, so I expect you to have them things. When a man come, they say, what you coming for? I expect you to have them emotions. You have them emotions? You're a man, you don't have that?
Not supposed to have that. And actually, it actually had girls who tell me I don't have emotions. I was like, wow. And some of them actually believe that men don't have emotions, and that's a scary thing, you know.
It really is.
Because now they will think that, he don't have emotions. You're not gonna, care about how he feels about it.
Exactly.
And that's happening in a lot of relationships these days.
You're seeing it more and more.
More
and more these days.
Alright, so on to the next point. Okay, leave that. The risk factors here. One key element is communication. Like we were saying before, the communication is probably the most important thing about this. It's too simplistic to say women are willing to share their problems and men tend to bottle them up. But it is true that for generations, many societies have encouraged men to be strong and not admit they're struggling.
That point, cool. I learned that. That is the next thing I learned in this current thing. You had to admit when you're struggling. You had to admit it. You had to say, I try my best. I was going through things. But I ain't the best right now. And I try my best. But right now, I'm struggling. And they will be surprised. It will have people that say you're struggling. Oh, well, I could help you in this way and this way. So it just takes the action. You had to go and do it. Nobody can do it for you. You had to, I wouldn't say take that risk, but just to put it in terms like that, you had to take that risk. And go and say, you're struggling and ask for help.
We need society to actually accept these people, not see it as a problem. Like, for example, you see how when Kanye on his outburst and expressing himself, everybody tends to bash him and say, oh, Kanye this, Kanye that. I mean, he has been diagnosed with bipolar, I believe.
So you have them issues.
But people still, bully him basically.
And
compared to what happened to Lizzo the other day where she was bullied online.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. And seeing how society sympathize with her.
That was with that video when she died on the bed or something? Or it was something else?
No, it had to do with something.
Well, I probably didn't know.
Okay, but Right, society was sympathizing with her. Facebook even deleted the negative comments about her and all that.
Okay,
But
okay.
when it happened to Kanye, society
Kanye.
was kind of
Yeah.
bashing him and this.
Because it's funny, nah.
Yeah,
It's funny.
funny
But
to
when
them.
it's for somebody else like Lizzo, it's not funny.
Not
You
funny.
take that down. You're not supposed to do that thing. It's not funny. When it's Kanye, everybody laughing and things. So I could see where you're coming from.
It's a very society is very bad when it comes to dealing with how a man feel and how a woman feel, basically.
Yeah. I could see where you're coming from.
Because Lizzo actually went on in the internet, was crying about it and everything. So
that was recently?
Yeah, that was recently, like a
I
couple.
outside the loop, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, society tends to, a man's feelings kind of puts it to the side and sympathize with a woman's feelings. But we need to actually bring that to equal, because men's feelings or how men express themselves are just as important as how women express themselves and how they feel.
Exactly, and real important, especially when you have children as a father. That is where you either see change or you either wouldn't see no change, because he passing on what he know and all his lessons to his children, and there's a whole other generation. So you have to be careful with that.
And not
too.
just fathers as well, mothers as well. Mothers, because they grew up with a headstrong father, or their husband is a headstrong person. They try to teach their son, you have to be like that, or you have to be like your father, stoic, stuff like that.
Yeah, true.
See, so a lot of that has to do with it. All right, so it often starts in childhood, like I was just saying. We tell boys that boys don't cry, says Coleman O'Driscoll, former executive director of operations and development at Lifeline, an Australian charity providing 24-hour crisis support and suicide prevention services. We condition boys from a very young age to not express emotion, because to express emotion is to be weak.
Yeah, and as they say that, I could relate when I was in primary school. When we used to get, I don't know if they're still giving licks in primary school. When we used to get licks now, if you cry,
you get more licks.
You either get more licks and people laugh at you, so you can't cry. And you get, it's not like even it's a mental thing. You getting hit is physical pain, and you are not allowed to cry for that. So that alone, and we're small too, eh? So as you're small and you go through a primary school is what, 5 years?
7 years.
It's 7 years.
Yeah, I remember it's infants 1 and 2, and then standard 1 to 5.
Yeah. So that is 7 years. Are you hiding your emotions, trying not to cry when you getting hit? And then mentally is a whole different topic. So you could see from small, we was
basically brainwashed there,
Yeah, to hide the emotions.
Hide the emotions, yeah. Okay. Mara Grunner, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, executive director at the Center for Suicide Prevention in Canada, points out it's how we talk to our children and how we encourage them to communicate about themselves too. Mothers talk way more to their girl children than their boy children, and they share and identify feelings more. She says, we almost expect women to be emotional, like we were talking about. It is expected for women to have those emotions and to express
and
it.
Talk about them.
But not for men.
Yeah.
We have to normalize that, and
you have to,
in order for men to encourage men to not being okay is okay, and you should be able to talk about it,
Yeah, that's really important, as you said.
Very important. You look the guy crying.
Yeah. You see?
Okay, so
a man could be in pain.
Okay, so
real pain.
So men seek help for mental health less often. Harvey Friedman says, it's not that men don't have the same issues as women, but they're a little less likely to know they have whatever stresses or mental health conditions that are putting them at greater risk for suicide. That leads back to, you see how women talk to their daughters, and they could talk about what a feeling is about, or what a feeling means, or how we're supposed to feel and stuff like that. And not having those conversations with men, they don't understand what they're feeling, basically.
True. Yeah.
And with that now, you can't process your feelings, and without you being able to process your feelings, you can't really communicate it if you don't understand what's happening to you.
Exactly, yeah. And as you say that kind of reminded me of, you don't see much, it have out there, but you don't see much fathers talking to the son how the mother would talk to the daughters. They are out there, and I'm going to say it have none, but there's not much. There needs to be more. And that's for our generation to change that with our children, communicate with our children more about how they're feeling, what they're feeling, and why they're feeling it. Stuff like that, so they can understand, how to go about dealing with it. Yeah, especially with emotions.
Especially with emotions, because emotions are very powerful. Okay, if a person is not even cognizant that they have a condition causing their distress, then they are less aware anything could be done to help them. Only a third of people who take their own lives are in mental health care treatment at the time, says Harvey Friedman. Dangerously, rather than seeking help through established channels, some men may attempt to self-medicate, i.e., drugs, alcohol, sex, all these things, things
to distract us, basically
from their
distraction
feelings, Okay, so he goes on to say, again, substance use and alcohol. Again, guys, I will leave this link to this so you guys could read and go about.
Yeah. And as you say, those distractions, most of those things will just make it worse. You're not really looking at the problem and fixing it. You're just putting something over it. Hopefully it go away when it just get bigger and get worse. So identifying what is the problem and what problem you have is the first step and the most important step, I would say. So you know what the problem is, you know what you have to fix, and you know what it is specifically, because sometimes you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Sometimes you have something about you, but you've done it so long and it's just been a habit that you don't know. And that is a next topic, a next problem that sometimes your parents have. And I would say, it's your parents' job to instill correct and the positive things in you, but they didn't know and they weren't brought up how society is today. So sometimes it's not their fault because they only instill in what they know and how they were brought up. So is not entirely their fault, but they do have some responsibility
as it could have been the change.
Exactly. So now that is why technology is so good now. That is a good thing we have. We have technology and we have the internet. So we have all the information and we could see more what is correct and what is wrong. So now we have to instill that in the future and in our children. So
and that is progression. That's what it is, progression in its entirety. Again, guys, if you need to if you're a man and you're literally surrounded by people who tell you should feel a way, you shouldn't have these feelings, go and find somebody who you can talk to, because it's really important. Again, taking back to the first episode about mental health, it is serious. And because mental health is taken less seriously than our counterparts, women, we need to actually push more than they would need to express ourselves.
And work a little harder.
For society to make it a norm for men to express themselves. Again, Kanye is a genius. Again, he was doing it before everybody else expressing himself, and that's what we need to do, express ourselves as men.
You take the good and they look at him and don't take everything. As you say, the example you brought up, I wouldn't say he's the perfect person, but you have to take the good qualities he have and try to instill it in yourself, and don't take exactly what you do, but make it unique. Because you have to be
self-expression. Self-expression. Take the fact that he's willing to express himself, but express it in your own way.
Exactly.
Right. There are no possible solutions. There are no straightforward fixes for an issue this complex, but a number of programs, policies, and non-profits are making inroads. So we need to do that in Trinidad, come up with something specific. I'm not saying to not allow women in it, but you need to be a little more specific for men to help them to be able to express themselves, because again, society tends to see a man's feelings and push it aside. You need to actually get programs that allow men to fully express how they feel.
Because I think I don't want to give the wrong information, but I believe there's a women's group in Trinidad. I can't remember what exactly they talk about or what they deal with, but I know there's a women's group in Trinidad for something specifically, but I haven't heard or I don't know about a men's group that talk about things that they are talking about, and I believe is more mental health and stuff like that with the same topic we're talking about. So if anybody out there, if you have an idea to start a mental health group for men, you could be the change. Don't be afraid to take that step and say, I want to be the person to start that. And you never know, you could impact somebody's life, and you could always it could help a lot of people, a lot of men down the road with mental issues, because you're seeing every day in the news the effects of men not being able to express the emotions. So if you want to be that change, that would be a good idea.
Be that change, guys, for real. All right, so we're gonna go back to this here. All right, so again, guys, dealing with mental health, especially in men, needs to be taken much more seriously. Allow men to express how they feel, because again, bottling it up, they will go on to, they might commit suicide, substance abuse, drugs, alcohol, all these things.
Yeah.
It
And
is
other types of abuse.
other types of abuse. They might start to, since they can't express themselves mentally or emotionally, they started to do it physically and started, beat
Lash
people,
out
lash out, and
yeah.
physical abuse.
Yeah, speaking of that, that reminded me of it was on news that a policeman was strangling his wife unconscious. I heard that in the news the other day. So it's a mental thing. It's a mental thing, and if that didn't happen, you never know. He could have passed on to his children, and that cycle would have just continued. So he was, I'm not saying he was right. He is 100% wrong for doing that, but we can't just say you're wrong, go and punish him for that. You understand why he do it, tell him why he wrong, and fix the problem mentally. Because I would assume that the main problem is upstairs in your mind.
Has to be, because the person you say you love, you just strangle them. You really had something had to be wrong upstairs in your head.
Yeah.
And we need to really, again, open, like how we have in this dialogue here. Have a like a sit down for men.
And talk, with a group or something
and
like that.
express that. Who knows, maybe one day in the future, it will be in the near future, somebody will do it.
Yeah.
I would love to see it myself, go into it and actually sit down
and be part of that group and contribute to it.
Yeah. That's a whole thing,
Yeah.
Hopefully one day we can do that. So yeah. All right, so now that we covered a lot of men's health issues, taking allowing men to express their feelings more. Once we do that as society, we could progress to more of a centered equal stage where men and women could be as equal as they want.
And that would help, a lot because when you look back, because that is the next thing. When you look back, I remember learning this in school. They say a sign of development in our country is you're seeing more women coming out to work instead of being home as a housewife. You're seeing more people in the workforce. You're seeing more women in the workforce and doing things like that. And as I look around, a lot of the people around me and a lot of influential people around me and people who work in are women. So you're seeing that as development. But also, and I want you all in the comments to let me know your opinions on this. This is really interesting. So there's a guy I was talking to, right? He said that I tell him we was in work, and I tell him I looking around and it's just you and I, and it's about 20 people working in our office, right? It's just you and I. We are the only males, and everybody else is female. And I say, yeah, well, that is a good thing. That is development. That is great. That is something I like to see. And he said, yeah, that is good, but it's not a good thing for the men. So then I told him, oh, well, I think that is the men's fault. They're not taking their education seriously. They're not doing this, they're not doing that. And then he said, yeah, but I think the education system is kind of geared
for women.
And they would get through and they would be more successful than the men. And I asked him, well, why you say that? I don't see that. And then he was like, because men learn more by
physical and visual.
Exactly. They have more crafts, that. Exactly. Yeah. Correct.
While women learn more, it's easier for women to understand languages, literatures, and
by reading and
stuff
things.
like that.
Yeah. So when he said
that's true.
Yeah. When he said that, I was like, well, it has some truth to that, not everybody, because I looking at myself and I looking at my friends and at the school I went, and they are successful now, and but me myself, I need to do it. I learned better by doing it, but I had to really struggle. And a lot of my other friends, they had to struggle and push through that not being able to take in information by reading one time. They had to do it over and over. But I could see where you're coming from. So you all can say in the comments what you think about that idea or what that opinion, if there's some truth to it, what you think on it, what you think is right, if it has some truth, just let us know in the comments what you think about it.
Yeah, it really takes back to school again. Yeah, as I said, the reason for that too as well. Schools not offering subjects for men to learn so much again, because when you look at most schools now, they don't offer crafts anymore. They don't do a lot of these trades in schools, and we have to actually go out to a trade school.
Yeah,
where it's less compared to regular schooling.
Yeah.
So schools tend to offer more languages, literatures, drama,
science,
stuff.
all those stuff. Yeah.
But actually men tend to do better in the sciences, because it's more of a visual learning experience, experimentation. So you're actually physically doing stuff.
That's true.
Men tend to learn from that, while women tend to learn from just reading or just languages or listening. They have better reading and listening skills than compared to men. Men have more physical and experimental, and in a sense be able to do more than just
by doing.
They're visual. Men are visual creatures, but biologically.
True.
So we need to, in schools, we need to allow boys especially to do more physical stuff. That's how they will learn.
Exactly.
You really can't teach boys how, and see, that's how we have to learn, like how girls learning now. Boys are not really interested in learning that.
That's why
that's why women tend to have better grades and stuff, because it's easier for them in that way, and more difficult for the men.
I would say I don't know, I can't speak for men, so I wouldn't say it's more difficult or it's more easier, but what I see around me is a lot of women in very high high powered places now.
That's good. That's progression.
Exactly. We learn about that. That is a great thing. But what the guy was telling me is it kind of unfair if there's more women than men. So with development, yes, but to what point will it be too much? And it wouldn't be equal. It's like
a scale.
Yeah, like the man was here, the woman was here, and when you switch it to the woman here and the men here, it's still not equal. You just switch it. So I could see what you're talking about, and again,
because they're more likely if a company has to deal with customers, a woman is more likely to be hired than men.
Dealing with customers, I could see that.
Like receptionists and stuff like that. Quicker, even though a male might have the same qualifications, everything exactly like women. They will quicker hire the women. But again, depends on the company. Again, it depends on whoever. It's not straight. It's not on a straight line. Everything is ups and downs. So again, it depends, but that's just because our society is developing in a way. I am okay with the progression of the progressiveness we have.
That's great.
That's really excellent. I'm happy to see a lot of women doing more. But I also want to see a change for how men learn. We need to teach men a little differently.
Exactly, because they learn differently than women. And you're seeing it is not something we make up, it's biological.
Biological. So all right. So on to the next topic now. If you all don't know, Byron is a photographer. Takes really good pictures. Guys, to me, he's one of the best. I would say that.
I come in there. I still have plenty to learn.
Of course. You always have to. You must always keep learning. So what made you want to do photography?
Well, from small primary school, probably earlier, I always used to like to create. I used to like to make things. I always like to create something, whatever it is. And then I remember in preschool, actually, we get this big whiteboard. So I carried it home, just a big whiteboard. I had a bunch of color pencils, crayons. I taken it real far back before even I know about any camera or anything. So I just take a bunch of crayons. I just like color all over. It wasn't good. But I like it. I give it to my grandmother as a birthday present. She like it. She still have it up to this day.
Wow.
Yeah, she still have it up to this day. So she could see from way back when I enjoy that. I like creating stuff. And when I was in Form 3, that was the first time I was introduced to photography and a camera or something like that. And I didn't even have an iPhone. I had some old Samsung phone. But my mother had an iPad. And one of my good friends up to this day, he introduced me to photography club in the school. And he said, yeah, you should join the photography club. I say, all right, I knew now, I now come in the school. And he said, yeah, come. I say, all right, I'll try it out. Then he showed me the camera. it had sports that day. Some school, it had football that day. So I watch him taking pictures. Then he showed me the pictures. I watch these pictures and I say, these pictures coming out real good. They're coming out clean. Yeah, they're playing sports, so you get them in the air freeze. So yeah, the ball up. So, and I don't know how I never see people actually do it. You know, you see it in the papers and you see it in the magazines, but you don't know how it's done. And I see them doing it right in front of me. So I say, let me try taking pictures. I end up taking for the whole match. He's supposed to be taken because he more experienced than me. I didn't know nothing. But I just take the camera, I take pictures, real like it, real enjoy. So after that I did every club meeting I did taking pictures, and eventually I asked, what camera you have there? So he tell me the camera. I say, well, I looking to get one. I asked my mommy. She said we can't get her now. So I say, all right. I take she iPad and I taking pictures of flowers, grass, rocks, because I can't take them big sports thing as yet because I don't have the camera for it. So I taking nature pictures basically, and I started like it. I started edit it, and I started getting to editing, and I fell in love. I fell in love. Everywhere I go, I taking my mother iPad and I taking pictures. We went to my family, to some gathering I had, family gathering. Everybody inside eating thing. I outside on the ground so with my mother iPad, taking a picture of a flower and editing it while everybody inside. So I just got addicted to it.
It became your passion basically.
Yeah, it became a passion, and to this day I still love photography.
See guys, you can find your passion in any opportunity. Once you find something you like, just go for it no matter what. Even if you don't have the resources, still go for it. You see how he said he took his mom iPad and just started snap pictures.
Exactly.
And
I built my way up to eventually getting a professional camera, and then that is how I started taking better pictures, learning. Last year I learned a lot about photography, even though I post nothing. I learned a lot. So that is grateful and thankful for learning so much. And we will see what art come out of me soon. We will see.
You see, kids. What are some good things you have experienced from being a photographer, and also some negative things you've experienced?
Well, going back to mental a little bit. I was a really shy person. I was real shy. I never used to talk plenty. I was quiet. And
I can tell you that for a fact.
Exactly. I was real quiet. And I used to talk plenty. And I would say, when I look back, I think I had some a level of anxiety. So being a photographer, you have to go out. You're going by yourself. You're going by yourself most of the time. You had to go to weddings by yourself. You had to go to sports events. You had to go to business events that have in an office or something by yourself, and you have to talk. You had to go and say, hey, you could come to this side, you could touch here this way. You had to talk. So that helped me mentally with my anxiety, and I was more open, and I learned to talk to different types of people, not only one type of people, different types of people. You get to talk to them and build a relationship with them. And it have some people I took some of my friends, I took pictures of their family wedding, and they bring me back again, and we get so close from how I talking and things. So that helped me a lot with getting out of my comfort zone and my anxiety, and just talking to people better, not being as shy as I was before.
All right.
Yeah, so that is a mental thing. That is a positive mental thing. What else, boy? I think it helped me. It showed me like the little imperfections some people have about their body. Because sometimes you take a picture and they say, well, you can remove this from my face and you can remove that. And I like, at a certain point, I used to remove everything. I used to take off this, a mark here, take off that. I think some people...
no, that's first. Good. That's first.
Yeah, we had some noise outside. But anyways, the little blemishes on the face and the marks on the body, he used to tell me to take that off, and I used to take it off, everything. Smoothing out the face thing. But as time go on, I could see how damaging that might be long term. That might be damaging mentally. You might look at the body and say, oh, I'm not perfect. I don't have the smooth face. Yes. When the people in the picture don't even have the smooth face, is editing do that. And everybody, they just see the picture and they say, ways, boy, look at them. When they see them in real life, it's a different thing. So I could see how damaging that was, not only for me, but the people who looking at my pictures that I taken. So that made me kind of step back a little bit and see how I could take it natural, but still have the same
Beauty with the
beauty
picture.
with it. Yes, correct.
All right.
So that is something else I learned.
Nice. You see, guys, you see, there's even to your passions, there's a lot of, drawbacks, but it is a learning thing. So any opportunity to learn, you learn from it.
Yeah.
You learn your lessons and, build from it. Try to change how you approach things and
Exactly. You learn a
go
lot.
about it. Yeah. So, any advice you want to give anybody who want to, become a photographer or pursue that as a passion?
Just do it. Just whatever you have a Me Too. Nah, Me Too, I no camera. Do it. If you have a Me Too, hard luck. But if you have a Samsung, if you have a camera phone, just start. Just go and take pictures of everything. Everybody, take pictures. I start with nature because it was more easier. Get a simple editing up in your phone. Most of them things free now. So just go and take pictures. Just take pictures as much as you could and share it. Don't take pictures and hide your work. Share your work and show that thing, and eventually you could invest in yourself and get a professional camera. You don't belong to be one of them high end. You could get a normal DSLR, and that wouldn't be too much money. It would be a little expensive, but it's a start. As long as you start, that's the most important thing. And you will fail. It's not gonna be easy. I fail real plenty. I make real mistakes. Sometimes I take pictures of people, they say they don't like it. That hurt me a little bit, but I know it's a learning thing. You have to learn from that. So you're going and fail plenty, but as long as you're consistent and you have that discipline and patience, you will be real good in whatever it is. You don't even want to be photography. It could be anything. Anything.
Like for me with this podcast here, try it. Yeah.
Exactly. You go have a big studio and thing just
soon. There's my little makeshift studio. I just do up something nice.
Yeah.
Alright, so I know you are a Drake fan just as much as me.
Yeah, I'm uncle. I'm Uncle Drake, yeah. I'm uncle.
Uncle Juicy.
Yeah, I'm uncle. I got uncles in is Drake. Nah, not Kanye West. I'm a cousin. Now Wizkid, yeah, Burna Boy. One of them is my uncle, but Uncle Drake, he up there.
Is he up there? He's number one uncle.
Number one.
Your favorite uncle.
Favorite uncle, yeah.
Alright, so his album Certified Lover Boy is supposed to be coming up. What are your expectations of that project?
Well, my expectations are real high because since last year, the snippets, well, not snippets, but the videos we gain, it looking like he going and go back to some of his old albums and I don't know if he's going to do the same thing by the remix, but it's something similar. So I'm real excited for that. Through the internet, sometimes I accidentally hear a little snippet of the song and I have to forget it. So
I want to ruin it.
Yeah, so I don't want to ruin it for myself. So my expectations real high.
Same.
And especially the feud with is a feud. He and Kanye. Yeah, expectations real high.
Because I believe that Kanye trying to wait until he release there. I want to release on his day.
Yeah, I feel so.
But that would be real messed up. That is actually something that happened with him and 50 Cent.
Oh, wait,
yeah.
Kanye and 50 Cent?
Kanye and 50 Cent. Yeah, Kanye dropped his album same day as 50 Cent and outsold him.
What?
When 50 Cent was in his prime.
Oh, you see, Kanye know what he doing.
Yeah.
It's not like he not doing things. He know what he doing and he playing with people purposely and winning. He didn't have to fight and all beating them. So I have some respect for him.
My expectations for CLB Certified Lover Boy is that he come back to a more take care. That kind of music, and I don't expect it to be all too singing like that, because we kind of modern now. Exactly. The song a little different, but that's what that's the vibes I get from it, I kind of a more emotional, introspective album basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would really enjoy that because really actually Drake actually, to be honest to me, Drake actually push the boundary of men expressing their feelings.
That is true.
And that is coming back to the same topic, you see?
Yeah, it connect back. Yeah.
Drake is probably one of the artists who give that forward for men to express how they feel and to talk about their emotions.
I love it, yeah.
Because that's what Drake does in his music. If you listen to songs like Marvin's Room, Jaded, and all these other, there's a lot of other songs,
R&B songs, yeah.
Heat of the Moment, Teenage Fever, all these things,
And he kind of started that too, as you're saying.
Yeah,
he started that and was the catalyst to make all these other artists like What the Division, Party Next Door, This
Magic
next one.
Jordan, these guys, you know.
Yeah, all
these
of them
guys.
starting to make that kind of music.
And even a lot of the US artists, and they'll say, who inspired you to sing a song like this? And a lot of them would say Drake, because he expresses how he feels. Yeah, he's really the one who actually puts it out there that it's okay to for a man to express his feelings.
Exactly.
And that's something I really enjoy Drake for.
And as you say that, I could see how we can make the connection for when we talk about Drake being part of that group. So
yeah,
that's a good thing. It's
You
a
see?
real big
Really
connection
good
you
thing,
make
yeah.
there, boy.
I tell you, as we think, when I'm planning out an episode,
Yeah.
as we thinking it true, coming
see?
to bring it, you know,
Yeah.
for everything to kind of line up in a way that,
I
you
like
know,
that.
everything could just kind of, it's like a puzzle,
Yeah,
putting
a
it
puzzle
together
piece.
while
Yeah.
we speak.
Well, that puzzle, that piece, yeah, that was a real big piece you fit there, but I didn't see.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, Kanye and all does it, but he does it for more mental health and stuff like that. Like seeing with his album Yeah, and then the one with Kids, he goes with Kid Cudi. Those albums were more about mental health awareness and stuff like that. And this album here, he named it after his mother. He still hurts from his mother passing away.
Yeah,
So-
I could see that. I could see that.
And he's a perfectionist. That's why he's taking long
That
with
is
the
why.
album. Yeah.
That is why I
He's
feel
trying to, you know, get everything correct before he drop it, because he had a couple what is called again, parties,
delays?
listening parties.
Listening parties. Yeah.
He had a lot of those, like 2 already.
He gonna
and
have
then
a
the
next one.
Yeah.
This man crazy, you know. He crazy, but he know what he doing,
know it,
so I had to
yeah.
respect it. I have to respect it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
He's another guy who pushes the boundary of accepting that men can have mental issues as well. So
So you see how both of them
come back
they're
together,
similar in a way
It's sim-
too.
yeah, and that's why they don't agree, because they're too much alike. They're perfectionists in their own ways. They try to push a narrative in their own ways, and that's why they always clash.
I could see that. You know who that remind me of? I might be wrong, but the feud they have, I would say, I don't think it's a feud, but I think it's healthy.
Disagreement,
Yeah.
Challenge.
It's like Michael Jackson and Prince. I think both of them, they didn't have a feud, but they had a kind of battle, like, who I could be better,
Yeah,
I could do this
easy.
better. But at the end, when Michael Jackson died, Prince was kind of hurt. He would feel it, and it was like, ways, you know, we had a little thing,
Rivalry.
but that was just all play and fun. It was just to make each other push for better and get better. So I could see the similarities with that and Drake and Kanye.
Yeah, it really is something. So, Certified Lover Boy and Donda, you see where these albums, you know.
Waiting years
Waiting for
now.
these albums.
I hope it before this month done, please.
At least one of them drop it.
Yeah, please. At least
one of them. Hopefully Kanye before Drake or Drake before Kanye. I just don't want them to drop at the same time, because I need to, you know, feel the album through first before I can go and listen to the next one.
That's true.
But honestly, I think I'll probably listen to Drake first.
Of course. Like my uncle, I tell you, I listen to you first, family first.
Alright, so before we look to wrap up today's episode, I just want to again remind you all to, you know, be open with how you feel as men, especially us younger men, because we need to change that whole narrative, that whole society we are thinking.
Yeah.
We need to be able to, you know, put forward that, say, hey, my feelings matter just as much as you.
Yeah, communicate
that.
and
Tell somebody how you feel. If you're not doing well, call somebody, talk to them. If you're not, you know, if you feel like you can't talk to anybody, you could talk to God if you're a spiritual person, you know.
Everybody different.
Everybody different.
So not like this routine would fit you and you'll go through that routine and they say that doesn't help you. Everybody different. So it begins with you finding yourself and knowing yourself first, mainly. So once you know yourself, you'll know how to tackle your specific problems differently than how, because the way somebody else tackles their problem and the way you tackle your problem would be two different ways. So if you do the same way they help their problem and it don't work for you, you say, oh, this don't work. No, it does work, but you have to find the way that it fits for you, because everybody different.
And dealing back to passion, your passion can actually help you come out of that dark space, or that, you know,
that is true.
That feeling you have, that, you know, of depression.
Exactly.
Following your passion can actually push out of that, so you can just, you know, find that sense of belonging. When you find your passion, you just find that sense of belonging, your purpose, basically.
Exactly. And when you get with people who have the same ideas as you,
you feel those feelings tend to not dissipate, but they tend to get weaker, while your passion tends to grow stronger, you know, basically. So that could also be a way for you to help cope with whatever you're dealing with. And not just for men alone, but for women as well.
Yeah.
I want to include you all into that. If you all are dealing with those things and you feel like you can't talk to anybody, and you know, find a passion, find something that you know that could help you deal with it, and your passion could really do it, you know.
Yeah.
So alright, guys. So anything you want to add before we close off?
Well, to add, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on the Passionfruit podcast. I don't know if I was the first guest.
Well, my siblings were the first guys.
Oh,
actually,
true. Okay,
but...
well, yeah, that different.
that different, yeah. But
Other than for me, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a big honor. I really appreciate you choosing me to come and speak about something so important, like mental health, and diving into my passions and my experiences. And as I said, don't forget the idea I gave you all if you want to start a group and make it big in Trinidad. You could start that mental health group for men, have people join and talk. It could start small, and eventually it will get bigger. But just to start is the main thing. And also, one more thing I want to say about anybody with the passion, because we spoke about my passion with photography. One thing I want to say is you will fail. Whatever it is you're going to do, you're going to fail. But do you have the discipline, patience, and consistency to get through failing?
Also the drive.
And the drive, your why. Why you're doing it.
The reason why you're doing it.
Why you're doing it, your why is very important. So you will fail, but as long as your why is strong, you will get through. So
yeah, and just keep pushing. You don't always have to be motivated to do it, but as long as you keep going at it, you know.
Yeah.
It'll be something different. So alright. Thank you so much, Byron, for coming on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming on the Passionfruit. Real nice, yeah. So like up the video.
Yeah, so go like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll be updated with further videos. Also, go and follow the socials where you can keep up to date with other stuff. We also have the TikTok up and running, guys, so you can go.
Oh, before, sorry to cut you off. I know you like Barcelona, right?
Yeah.
That is a big team. I have a big team too, you know, but might be different. Might be a little different to your team. Because you can't have your team and I ain't bringing my team. My team right here. Yeah, I think how much would be total? It was like 8 or 7 or something like that. Yes. Yeah. So I had to represent. So yeah, that's before we end. I just had to show up. Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so alright guys, we look at a wrap up. So yeah, again, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow the socials, follow the TikTok, follow the Instagram, the Twitter as well. Follow everything, you know, so we can keep in touch. Updates will be, I am constantly updating the Instagram and, you know, TikTok videos coming out. All that could be done, you know, guys. So again, go follow, go like everything so we can, you know.
Yeah, we can make it big.
Grow the channel so that, you know, other people could come in and listen and learn from it as well. So again, thank you, Byron.
No problem.
Alright, I hope that, you know, maybe one day in the future we can have another episode again.
Of course. Just let me know an idea. If I had to walk from, I'll come from Granny. If I had to walk from Granny, say, hey, I'm coming. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Alright, so we're gonna end it, guys. Also, do not forget to, you know, sanitize, keep clean, guys.
Stay safe.
Make sure you're good, guys. Make sure that's the most important thing, your health, guys. Alright, both mentally and physically. So without further ado, guys, peace out.
Later.